AskReddit by Epan. Who should be in prison 100%, but they aren't because they are rich? This guy. https://www.cnn.com/2014/02/04/02/justice/delaware-du.pont-rape-case/index.html. Though Robert H. Richards IV was convicted of rape, the wealthy heir to the DuPont family fortune was spared prison by a Delaware court in 2009 because he would not fare well behind bars, according to court documents CNN obtained Tuesday. Richards is a great-grandson of the chemical magnate Irony DuPont. He received an 8-year prison sentence in 2009 for raping his toddler daughter, but the sentencing order signed by a Delaware judge said defendant will not fare well in prison and the 8 years were suspended. Are they suggesting most people do fare well in prison? One of the DuPont heirs that raped his 3-year-old daughter. The judge said prison wouldn't be a good place for him, so he walked free. https://www.vinotifer.com/news/business/2014/003/du-pont-air-gets-probation-for-raping-3-year-old-daughter. That is unfucking believable. The judge should have been disbarred. Spencer Diamond. Heiress to the Wrigley fortune. Twice in a year she caused auto accidents. On the first count she failed to show for court after. On the second she hit and ran a pedestrian in a 25 miles per hour downtown street, stopped, looked at him and then fled. He was life flighted to a major hospital where he spent more than a week in serious condition. https://www.aspen-times.com/news/police-arrest-1-8-year-old-aspen-woman-and-downtown-hit-and-run/ Why do all these extremely rich homicidal drivers drive themselves in the first place? They're always getting in these horrible drunk driving accidents and doing no time, but they could just have a chauffeur? I don't get it, and it makes the crime worse because there's absolutely no reason why they need to drive themselves anywhere at all. Who was that affluenza kid who was underage drinking, drunk driving, and ran over and killed like 5 people, then claimed he was too rich to know right from wrong and actually got off the hook with that defense? Ethan Couch. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Ethan_Couch. David Miscavige. Edit. Spelling. Of course the leader of Scientology is being charged with child sexual abuse and trafficking. He's also best friends with Tom Cruise and was best man at his wedding. Alice Walton. Heiress to Walmart. She's had multiple drunk driving incidents, one in which she killed someone but was never charged. She even has the wealth, power, and affluence to have records of arrest wiped. She keeps millions worldwide in poverty while she intimidates the legal system to benefit herself. Her last one, prosecutors let the statute of limitations expire on, and the trooper who pulled her over and conducted the field sobriety test was unable to testify due to mysteriously being suspended. With that kind of money she could hire drivers. That's what I can't understand. Voraeathew Vidhaya.
https://www.nightimes.com/2020/007/24/world/asia/Thailand-crash-red-bull-comma grandson and heir to the Red Bull founder, struck and killed a police officer with his Ferrari. He fled the country, but had all charges dropped because, well, he has a lot of money. Paywall for your information. The clients of Epstein and Maxwell. How you can have those two on the hook and no other people have been convicted. Right? She's in jail for trafficking girls on behalf of no one? WTF.
Imelda Marcos, believe it or not, she is 92 and damp, hasn't spent a day in jail in spite of being convicted and sentenced. If the shoe fit. Everyone's gonna say Epstein visitors, but what about the Walmart family, the Waltons? One of them has killed multiple people in car wrecks but has never seen the inside of a jail cell. Alice Walton killed a pedestrian. Her DWI was expunged. Every motherfucker in Ghislaine Maxwell's book. Daughter fuckers, I'm afraid. The Sackler family for the opioid crisis. Honestly, they are some of the worst to know. I grew up in one of the largest cities in the country, and my graduating class, few surrounding grades have lost 35 plus people to the opioid crisis in 13 years. Watching it firsthand, on one half my family are all in the medical field, and telling stories of corrupt doctors overprescribing opioids for yachts and such, and the other half everyone is addicted and dying. Everyone from acquaintances to lifelong best friends and family members turned into zombies and then gone forever. May the Sackler family rot in hell, while my loved ones all laugh at them from above. No one from the 2008 financial crisis went to jail. They fucking should have. Instead, most got government bailouts and still got bonuses. Meanwhile, in Iceland, judges made bankers pay, with the unluckiest of them having to cough up approx $300 million. Anne Sekulis, she's the wife of a US diplomat in the UK who hit and run a teenager and fled the country. She's been charged and found guilty of manslaughter in the UK, but the US government is claiming she has diplomatic immunity and refusing to hand her over. Meanwhile, the devastated parents of this kid are left without justice because she happens to be married to a diplomat. Prince Andrew. Or more specifically, he's not in prison because his Emma was rich. He would do his time no sweat. Roman Polanski for sexual assault of a 13 years old. Although more women have made allegations against him. Will Smith is barred from the Oscars after slapping a comedian, but Roman Polanski gets a standing ovation. The rapist Brock Allen Turner. One of the best answers by far. Was convicted and found guilty on 3 felony charges, them being sexual penetration of an unconscious person, sexual penetration of an intoxicated person, assault with intent to commit rape. His sentence 6 months in prison but was let out after 3. Prosecutors had recommended a 6-year sentence given the intent and his efforts to lie cover it up. List of Epstein Island visitors. We're gonna need a bigger prison. Epstein visitors. It's terrifying that it seems like the main reason it's not being released is because the amount of powerful people on it would have enormous earth-changing ramifications. But let the pieces fall where they may, all of them deserve the harshest penalties, irrespective of wealth power. It shouldn't have been allowed to happen, and especially go unpunished. The best possible outcome for society is if this information was released and the people responsible were held accountable. We need to stop letting our world be controlled by a select few whose only credentials is that they've managed to obtain the biggest stacks of money. That wife of an American diplomat who ran over a guy in Britain was ordered not to flee the UK but did. Poor Harry Dunn. As an American, I fully support sending her ass back to pay the price. One of the most shameful and disrespectful things one of our ex-president did was try to have the woman apologize to the family while on US soil. So embarrassing. Gonna go with a not widely known. Rebecca Grotzman. She hit and killed 2 young boys with her car and tried to flee the scene. She was racing her boyfriend when it happened and it's suspected that she was drinking. Trial is soon, but she should already be in jail. She didn't show up for 5 of her court hearings. She should have been jailed after the first no-show. Ethan Couch, the Affluenza defense. Judge rules rich kidness makes him not liable for deadly drunk driving accident. Ezra Miller : You mean the white R. Kelly? The Sackler family who pushed Valium in the 60s before they single-handedly created the opioid heroin crisis, killing and destroying so many lives for their own disgusting greed. Evil incarnate. Ferdinand Marcos Jr. basically, the Philippines' current president. Logan Paul for fraud. Add Jake for sexual assault. Whoever the fuck runs Nestle. Jocolat Bar. OJ. All the rich people who went to that island of pedophiles. Pedis of the Caribbean. The people behind the baby formula Similac. It contained a bacteria that ate through the infant's stomach lining. The internal documents revealed that they knew about the problem but still proceeded to provide Niku with formula via government contracts. No one arrested. Baby's dead. What kind of world is this actually? Cause that is some heads on sticks kind of bullshit. Every dude at the Vatican City who knows about all the rapes the priests do and cover up for them. Oj literally wrote a book titled If I Did It and the if is in super tiny letters. It was actually the Goldman family that chose the cover with the if in tiny letters BC. They won control of the publishing rights due to their civil wrongful death judgment. It was a brilliant move by them. Epstein's clients. The rapist Brock Turner. He's dead now, but Ted Kennedy absolutely should have gone to prison. Driving drunk, ran his car off the road into a pond. Left the scene with his passenger, Mary Jo Kopech, trapped in the car underwater. Needless to say, she drowned. Just another example of how the Kennedys view the peasants. And then continued to be re-elected as a senator for decades. Sam Bankman-Fried. He's being charged though. He committed the cardinal sin of rich people using their wealth to avoid justice. He fucked with other rich people's money. Putin. The rapist Brock Allen Turner. Brock Allen Turner, the Stanford rapist who now goes by Allen Turner? Literally everyone associated with Epstein. Deleted. People who got elected to Congress when poor but left as the 1%. I think the ones that start out rich are significantly worse. Prince Andrew. Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz. Phil sent plenty of kids to horrible abuse camps and Oz has murdered puppies. Both are con men who give horrible advice. I was pretty shocked when one of my friends, who lives in PA, was pissed that Oz lost his Senate election attempt. He said something along the lines of, Fetterman is the worst possible candidate. Oz isn't great either, but he's 100 times better than Fetterman. All the voters in Pennsylvania are brain dead and are just making us worse by voting in brainless idiots like Fetterman. He was pissed. He didn't vote for either, BTW. He voted for a third party, but not sure who. All he said about it was he voted third party. Caitlyn Jenner. How do you just run over someone? My bad, she did not run anyone over. She caused a fatal car accident and was not charged. Buckle up, buckaroo. Brock Turner, the rapist. O.J. Simpson. Everyone in Wall Street responsible for the global financial crisis. Everyone that visited Epstein's island. Robert H. Richards IV, https://www.cnn.com/004/002/justice/delaware-du.pont-rape-case/index.html who raped his young children and will inherit the DuPont fortune. Robert H. Richards, heir to the DuPont fortune who raped his toddler daughter and was spared prison time because the piece of shit judge said that pansy ass piece of shit child rapist Robert H. Richards would not fare well in prison. Yep, child rapist who raped his own 3-year-old daughter and sexually abused his son might not be comfy in a prison setting because he's accustomed to luxury. So he doesn't have to go. The judge in the case was the Honorable Jan R. Jordan. https://courts.delaware.gov/superior/about us/judges_profile_j jordan.aspects .or Delaware, BTW. Trial and sentencing of Robert H. Richards IV Wikipedia. https://wiki/trial_of_sentencing_of_Robert_H._Richards_IV Billionaires. How a DuPont heir avoided jail time for a heinous crime. C3029 DBA. Mad Gates. Dude was running his own small-scale lowly express, and we're just supposed to act like it never happened?